the beginning, which is this main melody right here. Let's just copy this over real quick. Oops. And now this. Okay, so this is kind of a similar approach right there. Alright, so I think we can leave this example where it is and now start really creating some question and answer melodies, always starting with our ARP. So let's delete this MIDI clip, let's copy this over. Cool. So now we have our MIDI information again, and as I said, we want to make a difference between our call and our response. So let's just use the first 3 notes for our call. And I mean, even though we're just deleting some notes, and even though there's not so much changing except the pitch here, because the rhythm it's exactly the same here, you know? It's just the first triplet 8th notes getting played, but it's already like a small response there. It's like dum bum bum, and there's like da da da. So this is something that happens so much in music, and I really want to emphasize that the important thing here is you have to have a story in mind that you want to tell, because now we have endless possibilities, endless. And this is, of course, the hard thing in music, because we all want to have some rules, and now I try to give you some rules of thumb. But in the end, I think it helps if you imagine some pictures, you know. So do you want to say, is there a person that says a lot? So it has a lot to tell, okay? So maybe it would continue speaking here, you know? So now there's a too little like space between the question and the answer. You know, or is it very like, you know, quirky and it's always jumping around? And then there's this person who's just responding with 1 note. Okay, so maybe you know, you can develop that picture in your mind a little bit further, and I think this is something that old producers like Mozart did, because, for example, if you listen to Rondo alla Turca, it's a track from Mozart where he was musically describing a war scene between the Turkish and another nation. I don't know exactly which nation, and if the Turkish people were the people defending or the people in the offensive. But if you listen to the track with knowing that, you can really like hear in the music, you can hear like this a lot of fights going on and people running and all that stuff, you know. So a very busy track, and that's of course like, watch out for the names of those classical pieces. Oftentimes they describe a situation, you know, and this can help. So if you are like watching like a picture or something, you try to recreate that picture. For example, a picture of a wave or of the sea or something. It's like the sea, it's very just one color. It's just moving very slightly. So if you would like to have the same of like kind of vibe in your track, you would try to not make too much changes. You know, try to stay kind of the same, but you have a lot of different small motions in your track going on. But if you wanna recreate like a meteor going down to Earth, you would maybe have really deep and very fast frequency changes. And yeah, you can, you know, apply this to picking your instruments, to writing your melodic lines, to everything. But I think this just helps to clarify the picture. All right, so let's stop with this philosophical session and let's continue with our ARP here. So what have we done here? Okay, so there are some notes that are not working out here, which is I think this C sharp here. So let's transpose this down to the B, which is the 5th of the E. What always works, or with works I mean what is always finishing a sentence, is if you stop with a consonant note on a downbeat, on a strong beat. So strong beats are 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, oops, and so on. So now, because we're stopping on this G here, you know, it's really like dun 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 dun. It's not a very open phrase, right? So if we just deactivate this G with hitting 0 real quick, let's have a listen. Now it's more open. Another thing that you can do to spice up your melodies a little bit is to try to implement notes in those last like quarter of your previous takt. So another thing to spice up your melodies is that you can make like small melody fills. So in the end of like 8 bars or 4 bars or 2 bars, sometimes like a drummer or an instrumentalist would play like they're playing all the time the same pattern on a piano or on a drum, and then he's like, you know? And this is something we can do with melodies as well to like lead into the next tone. So if we want to lead into this D, we could start like putting just a drop down melody here that leads kind of into our D. You know? And now we can like dun da 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 dun 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 dun. You know, we can like start earlier and then go. Now it's a little bit boring because those notes are exactly the same. In the third bar we are now in B minor here, so maybe we just start with a B here. And now I think I would go a little bit higher here. I mean, we're now pretty like stuck in this shape that we've made, like this. So this is like our melodic theme that we have now, which will sound familiar, but we're not getting like, we cannot do something completely different right here because it would sound a little bit weird. Like just 3 notes repeating and then going 1 note down or something. This would be like too far out. We can do, let's just do it real quick. But let's listen to this one more time and then we'll do this example that will not work so well. Now ending here on 1 note again and going down maybe. Alright, so this could work out, for example. So let's delete those notes, and if we would start like here with a completely different theme, something like 3 notes and then going up 1 note. And let's just adjust it to the right pitch, which would be the F sharp in this case. Would sound, I mean, it doesn't even sound that bad, but it's something too different. So without further talking, let's delete this MIDI clip and let's do another example where we will not like put like a run melody style, arpeggio melodic kind of theme, but something that repeats a little bit more. So now we have our notes here. So maybe we start with 2 E's in the beginning, then we can delete this 2 notes here just to give it a little bit more space. So this first half note section here, we could even like use that as a theme and just copy this over here and then start alternating those notes. So we have like something that is similar even in our first bar, you know. And now we have to do something that is a lot different than that, and we have to stop somewhere. You know, you really have to leave space if you want to do a melody. I really like if it's ending on 1 note. Okay, but this is not the style that I wanted to go in the direction at the moment. So what I wanted to do is I wanted just to create something that repeats a little bit more. Okay. So now we have these 2 notes here that are repeating there rhythmically. And now we could like try to do the same kind of shape and pattern in the second one. Okay, you know where I'm going? Let's copy over those 2 here. Maybe we can go down there, make a small step here, chuck, chuck, chuck. Bum, bum, bum. So we can like imitate like this motion downwards here, but invert it here. think this is even a little bit much there. Maybe we can get rid of that and just make it very, like very reduced. And maybe we just create like a nicer fill here, something that is going like way up and then it's dropping into those D notes there. So we are in E minor, so we can start on our B. Just go with the D, and maybe even with the E here. So E will fit pretty good. So this is something that my mind is now producing, and this is what you really have to watch out for, okay? So you're looking for your mind telling you what to do. For example, there's too much, there's too less. I'm hearing a note that should be happening there. And even, I think sometimes listening is super important. Of course, listening is super important, but really listening to your track, because sometimes it tells you what to do. I've seen this masterclass with Jimmy Jules also here on Production Music Live. And at one part he's saying that like he's just like, he recorded like a fence or something where he was like striking around with I don't know, his fingers or whatever. And then he's like looping it, and then he's starting to hear a melody where there is no melody actually. So sometimes it can happen that in a track you're listening for something that is there, but it's made up of all the different sounds together. You know, so the delay of like one synth is creating a harmony with your harmony and the bass drum and I don't know, Foley you have inside your track and all that stuff. And then you insert that melody that is not really there. You build it, and this is something you should be listening to. If it's there, it's really nice. It's a pretty cool feeling. All right, so let's continue here. I'm hearing this note here, the 5th. So I think I just go and copy this over here, and now let's adjust it accordingly to the chord that we're in, and this is a G chord, so B and D will work out. And I wouldn't do like the exact same shape as here, but maybe we will start on our G and then go up to the D and down to B and then to the D here. Could even do a fill here. This really depends on how much fills you want in the end. So now we're in B minor, so F sharp is good, A is, yeah, it's okay, but we don't necessarily have to work like with just by making all the same notes all the time. D will work out. Maybe we just make one answer there at the end. Alright, cool. So this could be another idea for just a very basic melody. So let's just use like one of the phrases we did here and create another melody out of that. This was something I was just hearing in my head at this moment, because this motion, I really like this motion here. And another thing that is pretty interesting is if you don't start your melody necessarily on the 1, this is something I think we, as producers, we do it a lot because the MIDI clip starts at 1, so we don't know any better. But if you listen to singers, oftentimes they start before the 1 is coming. So there's like this, they have like this melodic introduction, and this is something, I think that was the thing that catched me here. So let's try to use this same shape in all of our 4 different harmonic parts, and then we will just change the notes, and then you will have a listen to how it sounds like if the melody is starting before the 1. Okay, so E minor, C, not really working. Maybe we will start like with a more relieving note there, which would be a E. So this also does not work out here pretty well. We have to adjust a couple of things now. So I will do this without any comments here. I'm just trying to fit those notes now into our chords, which are getting displayed up here. So this needs to be either, and I really want to end on a consonant interval there. That's why either we can pick a D, a B, or a F sharp here. So now we're here in G major. This should be something like, maybe like this even. Cool, so now we're in our B minor, F sharp is fine, A, yeah, could also work out actually, but let's go with our B. D will work out, but let's do a motion like that. I mean, now it's a little bit boring because we're always starting like here in the last, on the one of this last quarter here. So we can even start by like adding different notes at different times here to just make it a little bit more versatile regarding our rhythm. Maybe we want to start here. Just transposing them so we don't have like repeating notes there. Let's increase the dry and wet of the delay a little bit. Let's add a second S oscillator. Let's turn this oscillator down an octave by just hitting Shift and the arrow down button. And now you can decrease the volume here, and now we have something that is a little bit more full. Let's just increase the overall volume. And as I explained earlier on in this course, we can make this a little bit more fluffy if we just drag the attack to around, I think at like 36 milliseconds gets like a little bit ungroovy. And now let's shorten up the decay time here. So we have like really, we emphasize this vt, vt of the cutoff opening. Yes. Let's increase the volume a little bit. And because we have such a long release time on our amp envelope here, the notes are releasing really long and you can hear them in the end, and that's pretty cool. And it's only working because we have set our synth to mono. So I will show you what I mean. Now it's staying there. It's still there. Still there. And I really like that because, yeah, it's just, you think the sound is over, but then it comes back again. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Alright, so let's do one more example in this style by making this introduction into the new bar and ending on a consonant note. So let's transpose all of this jazz down an octave. I think it could be pretty cool. So a little bit more like darker themed melody this time. So we don't necessarily have to start on an E here. We can also start on a B, which is the fifth of our chord, the E minor. So this will also work as a consonant interval here. And now let's just change the rhythm here of those notes a little bit and also the pitch. So this is a little bit like din din din. This is a little bit boring, I think. So we're in G major here, so let's go with the G. And now we're getting in a lower register, so we have to watch out that our melody notes are not too dissonant with the chord that it's underneath. Maybe we just start down on this D here, then work our way up to the G and then to the B. So those are all notes that are inside of our G major chord. And we can even do like some kind of a passing tone here. And maybe we will start a little bit earlier in this bar, so we have more space. We're in our B minor chord, F sharp is the 5th, will work out good. F sharp and G, you know, you can already hear in the delay. They're not sounding that good together, so let's pick another note here, and maybe we're going to emphasize one note very much here, which could be a higher note, F sharp for example. And then, yeah, either we stay here and then dropping down, or we walk down a little road. So this is something we should just try. Yeah. For example, this note here, it's so far apart from the other ones on the right that it doesn't like really seems like it's part of them. It really seems like it's like the answer to the first one, so I don't know if this is making sense. So, and that's the same with those notes. It's cool like that. Let's transpose the second oscillator up 2 octaves. Sounds so cool. Let's put like a little bit drive into our synth. Gets louder, of course. Yeah, people, and you can go on forever there. But as a rule of thumb, if you want to create question and answer, there needs to be question, there needs to be answer, and those have to vary somehow, and you need to leave space between those, okay? An answer feels always very good if it's on the one and if it's a consonant interval. And you have to watch out that you group the things a little bit in together so they create like a coherent question, a coherent answer. It's like with speech, you know, if I just stop randomly, you know, it will feel kind of weird for you. So you want to have like coherent individual phrases or answers. All right, so I think we're good with our boomer example here. So let's just mute this whole group and let's continue with our Tim Green Tears melody here. So let's just have a listen to this again. Alright, so that's the main melody here. And just put this up here a little bit. I made the groove like mostly consisting of Organica 2 samples. Those are samples I made by myself, and you can also find them on Production Music Live if you like them. Alright, so before we start with his track, I'm just going to move those chord markers a little bit to the left because we will first have to figure the chords out again. Let's go and check out our bass line here. So the bass line always indicates the chord that is going on at that moment, and if it's not playing like the root note of the chord, it will for sure, if it sounds consonant and if it sounds like harmonic, not clashing, it will be the root note or one of either the third or the fifth of the chord. So okay, people, so I just found out the chords for our next song. It's starting with D minor over 1 bar, then it's going to C major over 1 bar, and then it's staying on G minor for another 2 bars. And this is the whole track of Tim Green is Tears. It's in D minor. So we're starting with our root chord with the tonic. Alright, so what's the first thing that pops into our mind if we see something like this? In my mind, it directly pops out, you know, we have like this super repetitive pattern here. So even there, you know, you see like the first note here, and then there's 2 note space, 2 16th note, and then there's the 4th 16th note. It's another note again, and then you have the exactly same distance here. So how you could create this, I think you just drop those notes over here. And then there's exactly this same pattern with like 1 note, 2 notes free. Then there's again a note, he has it here. 2 notes free, and then this one. And this is like kind of a fill note. So this is like on a micro basis, and on a macro basis it would be, so he's playing 4 notes up there, then he's going down with 3 notes, so he's questioning. You know? So this is like kind of this question and answer, call and response that is going on more like on a rhythmical and more on a simple level here. So I think you can use those, like you can really analyze music, okay? People, you can go there and you can have a listen and you're like, okay, it's doing this again and that again. And I think you can learn a lot from analyzing music. So if you don't do analyze music, I can understand it's sometimes a little bit boring, but it helped me a lot. Okay, so let's try to create a melody in this style. Let's copy this MIDI clip over here. Let's get rid of this one. Let's create a new MIDI clip by hitting Shift, Command, and M. We know our chords are D minor, C major, and G minor. So in the first bar, we can use D, F, and A pretty easily. And now we know that on a micro basis, we just starting on the 1, and then we pick a certain value. We could pick like 4 notes, for example, that are not getting played there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th note will get played again. And then we take this and just duplicate it. And then it's the exactly same distance here. And then we just put in another note to make like this fill in. Then we just copy this pattern down here to now we're in our C major, so we can either go on our G, which we are currently on, or we go on our E, which would be the 3rd of our C major chord, or we go up to our C, but that would maybe sound a little bit boring. Okay, so we want to have a little bit of variation in the second bar, so we just get rid of like 2 notes there. Okay, now let's copy over that pattern here. We are in G minor now, so we can go up to the minor 3rd of the G minor chord there. And just stay on our G in the second part here. It's a little bit boring though. Okay, so I think Tim Green was switching here a little bit faster. So he was like first 3 notes and then the second notes, if I remember this right. Let's just check it out. Yes. So let's do this as well. So we have our first 2 notes that can stay up there, and then we just transpose those 2 notes down, maybe to the F, which would equal the 3rd of the D. Now we need the response here again, and now we're in a C major chord, so let's pick the E, which will sound very consonant because it's the 3rd of the C. And now we can go down here to, we're in G minor at this point. So let's go down to our D, and now we have to go up again here. And then we have to go down again in the end. So now we have the same pattern kind of here and there. We can just add this note and it's exactly the same. Alright, so this could be one example. So let's just try and create another one. Let's just get this channel muted here and go directly and like make up a new sound. I like to do this every time from scratch because I think it's a good, you know, practice. If you do it every time, then you really know how values feel and how you should like create certain sounds. And it's so much fun, you know, experimenting with synthesizers. So I really recommend you to do that. All right, cool. So let's pick something maybe more squarey this time. I will just create another MIDI track here by hitting Shift Command and M, and we are in. I don't like blue. Let's pick, I don't know, red or something that is more clear. I will create just a couple of notes here that are on a micro level the same and then changing on a macro level and with the same shape, okay? So let's just start with an A maybe, because we're in D minor and this would be the fifth. Wow, that sounds not good. Let's just decrease the volume a little bit here. Okay, and now we will just go down here to our F, which equals the third of our D minor. All right, so let's directly insert a little bit of delay here, because I just like playing with it with delay. Let's increase the ping pong here and add a little bit of reverb. Let's increase the decay of the reverb. You know how you can hear how it morphs into the reverb now. Now it's reverb. So let's decrease the amp envelope here. Let's put our synth to mono because we only want to get one note played at a time. Let's close down our filter frequency and let's head over to the matrix, enable envelope 2 controlling the filter 1 frequency cutoff. Let's choose a 24 dB slope for our filter because then we will get even more crispy plugs. The higher your filter slope, the more plucky your sound will be if it gets opened by an envelope. Okay, cool. So let's head over to envelope 2 by just clicking here in this envelope 2. Let's just drag down the sustain completely because we don't need it. There's no note that's getting sustained here. So let's increase the amp a little bit so we have a little bit of attack. Let's increase the envelope 2 amount a little bit more. Alright, cool. So now I just want to like build a couple of like smaller rhythms here in the beginning and then we're just going to transpose them over the whole harmonic changes. So if we just watch this first bar here, we could say we will just transpose the last one of those 3 notes up and we can do the same here. Okay, and then we can do the same here, and then we can do the same here. Now it's a lot of notes going on, I don't know if I like that. Maybe we decrease the dry and wet of the echo a little bit. I mean, if you now duplicate this like directly here, maybe it would be a little bit full. You know? So if we do something that busy, I would recommend, you know, just leave a bar of space for the listener to... But I don't like the theme actually, so we will do slight alterations here. Alright, so there are too many notes, it's just too much going on, so I just delete something randomly. I think this jump here in the end, I don't know if we need it. Yeah, I don't know. Now we're very far apart from what I actually wanted to do, which is like the kind of Tim Green stylish patterns. So maybe we would just, you know, go with a theme that looks like this. So I'm just adjusting those notes so they fit the chords. We don't need any, like, this is more like a rhythmic melody, you know. This is nothing that needs too crazy melodic lines. Dum ba dum bum bum ba dum. Maybe we can adjust this last one so it's making a little bit more variation in the last two bars. Bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum bum ba bum 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 bum. Maybe we don't, you know, want to be like the second part of our like one bar theme. We don't want it to be like the exactly same rhythm. So maybe we can just get rid of one note and then maybe alternate the other one rhythmic wise. Now it's getting more different. Maybe we could try some octave jumps. And now you can take always the same note. I mean, this will be a little bit predictable, but also a little bit beautiful. Maybe we can try a little bit of drive on the filter. Maybe add a second oscillator a little bit, one octave deeper. Decrease the volume of the second oscillator. I think we should increase the decay time of the envelope too a little bit. The release time is super important, okay? Because if you have the release time on your filter envelope or also on your amp envelope too short, it sounds super like mechanic. Like the note is just directly stopping. Bing, 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 you know? Now it's getting flowy. Now we can just, you know, now we have our basic shape of a melody. Now we can start, you know, making smaller transitions between the first, the second, the third, and the fourth bar by just starting to add some notes here, which are like small fill-in notes, like stuff I just told you about. Maybe another fill here. Yeah, sounds pretty cool. Ooh, that's interesting. I've never discovered it actually, that you can change between those parameters here. That's pretty cool that you can like open up the release in the end again. Let's try a little bit with that. Ooh, that's sexy. Nice. Okay. All right. Pretty cool, right? I really like that one. We can even start, you know, to like alternate one of the first 3 notes we have in every like bar here. So now this melody, you know, it really, it also looks like it's making sense, you know, because you have, you know, going up, going down here, and you have the same kind of shape every time. So if you really imagine this line again, going up there, going down, same note, going down, going same note, up, down, and now it's repeating itself all the time. And then we have slight variations in the end, which is cool, because that's what's creating the interest, but it's not completely random, you know? All right, so let's try to alternate our start of our melody a little bit. So we're starting here, doing this very big jump. Then we could try to not jump back down so far again. Could go not so much down here as well. We're in G minor, so D will work out. Maybe you can make a crazy fill here, and you can do a crazy fill by also like changing the rhythm and the position of those 3 notes here, and then adding other notes in. C major at that moment. And now you can go crazy. People, go crazy now. Do whatever you want. But I think you get the thing, you know, you get this like, first we had like more of a melody run in the first example with Ben Böhmer style, of course also in triplets, and now we've come pretty far actually with this very simple theme that we used in the beginning. But I think this can be a great start, like such things, they can be a super cool starting point. Alright, so I think we're pretty good we've pressed everything out of this example. So let's continue with our next example here. Let's have a listen to the first example from Sri Lanka, From Afar, Yannick Mount's bad recreation. Alright, so I will just find the chords out for a quick moment and then I will be right back. Alright people, so I've just figured out the chords. It's a little bit of a weird tonality, to be honest. It's E flat minor. Let's just try it. In the end, it's not making anything with our concept of creating melodies. So this melody is also more of a like percussive style melody, I would say. It's more like the rhythm is important. It's not so much of like a smooth kind of melody shape or something. The track is actually like the loop he's playing in his track. It's actually 8 bars long, and they're like the harmonies are changing in the second 4 bars to a different direction. But I said I just want to like just focus on the first 4 bars because we can work with that and it won't get too complex there. Okay? So just that you know and you don't surprised if you hear the original or something. Cool. So what sticks to my mind here or pops out in my mind, I don't know if I like got all the notes here correctly because it like here has a lot of stuff going on there and also a lot of effects, but I have the feeling that this guy is producing, he's a really like a feeling producer, so he's not thinking too much in concepts, I think, which is pretty cool because he's making some super nice unique music. And this is something I want to give you on the way as well, is that you don't always necessarily have to like apply these rules. Cool. So what do we have here? What sticks to my mind is in the beginning we're a little bit higher here and here, and then we're just dropping down, and then we have this feeling that it's a little bit like a dotted 8 feeling. It's like a dunk 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 dunk. So yeah, I will just show you how you can achieve this feeling. First have a second listen so you know what I mean. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so Let's just copy this over, delete this clip here, and open up our loop again. Okay, cool. So let's create a MIDI clip by hitting Shift Command and M. And now we can, and now I will show you how you can do this dotted eighth rhythm. Dotted eighth rhythm means you have a note. This is like the minor third of our E flat, which is displayed here as a D sharp, but it's a harmonic. So D sharp and E flat, they're basically the same notes, but one is with the flat and one is with the sharp. Okay. So how do you do like what is a normal eighth note? A normal eighth note, it's just a 16th note, and then you have one 16th note space, and two 16th note equal one 8th note, and then there's the next 8th note. So this is what like a normal 8th note rhythm would sound like. It's like really stupid, like dang, 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 dang. Okay, cool. So how do we create a dotted 8th note rhythm? That's pretty easy. We just take our second 8th note and we just drag it 1/16 to the right. So now you have 2/16 space in between your 16th note, and this is called like a dotted 8th note is an 8th note with an added 16th note to it. So it's like basically 3 16th note space between the notes, and you always leave you leave a space of 2 here. Just drag it over here, you know, and this is how you get this feeling. This is also like in a lot of kind of music tracks. They have like this ding 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 ding, you know. And then you can either do it all the way through your track, or you just start again in the second bar here. Alright, so this is like one of the primary aspects, one very, very important element that he's using there. And I think then he's just alternating some notes there, but not too many, because, yeah, as I said, it's more like of a percussive melody line. So we could start like this. And now we're in a F sharp major chord. So we could pick our A sharp here, for example. Oops. Boom, boom. Now we're on a G sharp minor. And now you can do whatever you want, you know. Now you can basically, if you want to have it more melodic, you have more melodic, a real melodic phrase. You can do it by alternating the pitches. If you say, no, I like this like simplicity, then this is no problem at all. You can just start adding some ghost notes here and there, or maybe alternating one note at a time. And we could do like something, you know, like just to transpose this now down a little bit here in the end. So it's working as kind of a fill sound to the first bar. Maybe we don't want to like use like the exact same note that is getting played afterwards. And what is especially interesting here is that we can use, like there's a half tone here, because we don't have any like gray area beneath those two green lines here. So this means it will lead pretty nicely into the first bar. Okay, so maybe we can do like, he has like this repetitional style synth somewhere. And I don't know if he's using actually 32 notes, but could try this. Yeah. So I think what he's doing later on, he's like alternating the pitches. Just transposing up an octave here by hitting Shift and the up arrow. Doesn't have to be necessarily the same position as in the previous bars. Let's just decrease the decay, the envelope to amount on the filter a little bit. Okay, so this is like basically how you could apply this dotted eighth rhythm to your melody. So this is now something that you have in your toolbox that you can use to just make some little bit more rhythmical interesting melodies right there. Cool, so let's just try and create another one, but maybe something that is a little bit more of a mixture out of that, like 8 dotted eighth rhythm, kind of same percussive melody and a little bit more melodic content in it. Okay, so let's get rid of those notes. We are in our E flat minor, such a weird key, which is also a D sharp minor. So we will start with our basic dotted eighth rhythm right here. And then we could use like this Tim Green style pattern where he then went down here. So E flat minor is the fifth, is the A sharp. So we can we can combine those two styles here. So now we can transpose up to the F sharp and F sharp major. So that means we could use the B here at the A sharp here as well. Okay, I think this is pretty cool actually. So now we're on a G sharp minor, which is this note here, and then we can go down maybe to our third or our fifth. The third is the B, which is getting played out, but we're playing it all the time here and there. So I would suggest to go with another note, which would be then a quarter down, because a quarter down equals a fifth up. So we will just put this note on our D sharp. Then let's copy this over here. Okay, so now this is a little bit boring right there, because like we're ending on this note and we're starting on this one. And I think what was pretty interesting was this half step in the end of our last example. So we can just transpose this up to the F sharp, which is equal to the minor third of the D sharp here. And then we can go up here again to this leading tone, because this sounded pretty cool. Now it's making more sense. And now, if we don't want to have it that simple, we can start, by like adding some fill sounds here, as we did in the second example of this section. I think it's boring that we're landing on the same note here and there. I want to change this. So F major, let's just pick the C sharp here, which equals the fifth of our F sharp major chord. Yeah, let's do a transition here as well. So I'm just trying to get like steps up towards our other tone here. Note. And then we can maybe do like a small note. Okay, so now we could even try to, just stay on the higher note with our first two notes, and then already start going down here with this note, maybe even with another note in between. Okay, so going down here with another note in there. So there's no space available here. This is why we could just go up there if we want to close all the gaps of our 16th note here, but this will be a pretty long run, so we will have to see if it works. Can do here some, oh no, sorry. So let's do the same thing after those first two notes here, going down, going up maybe one more note, so we don't have 3 notes that are repeating here. I think this one is too much. We couldn't go down here. Oh, why not? saving. Alright, so this so far so good for this Sri Lanka from Afar track. Great track, buddy. Give this guy a listen on Spotify. He's awesome. Cool, so let's check out our last example, which is also from Sri Lanka and it's called Great Belt. Bad Yannick Mounts recreation, obviously. Okay, so this is the main melody that we're going to have a look at. Okay, and you can already see what we will have a look at. It's also very distinguished. Okay, so I will just find out the chords real quick. We're beginning with a G minor chord for 1 bar, then we are 1 bar in F major chord, and then we are for 1 bar in our A sharp major chord, which is also you can call it a B major chord, how you want to spell it. Okay, cool. So let's just have a look and enable the scale here in our MIDI settings under the clip drop-down menu here. So we can pick D minor or F major. This does not really matter. When I see something like this, it gets pretty clear directly. We have this first theme. Quarter note, no, it's a fourth right there, not a quarter note. And then we have this upgoing like melody line here, which is descending at this point in the second half of the whole sentence. And this one is just repeating completely the same way. So have a look, have a listen to that and focus on this. Okay, so what else is interesting here? We have like 2 of the same notes, then 2 of the same notes, 2 of the same notes, then 2 of the same notes, then 1 note, and as well here 2 of the same notes, 2 of the same notes, 1 of 1 note. So we have 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1. Okay, so this is kind of like this is bringing the sense into this melodic phrase. All right, so without further talking, let's just duplicate this over. Delete this MIDI clip, create one by hitting Shift Command and M. And now we're going to create a melody that is similar to this one, applying those rules of thumb. So as we said, we're in D minor here, starting with the G minor chord. So we can just put like 2 G notes here, which are the root note. And then we can move somewhere else. We can move to the B, to the minor third. And then we just end on the D, for example, which is the 5th of the G minor chord. And this could be like our first phrase. Okay. And now, what was also interesting is here in his clip, if you watch this. So we have our phrase starting on the 1 here, on our very 1, on our first downbeat of the whole loop. And he's starting his second phrase not here. Okay? He's starting it way earlier on the left side, on the offbeat here on his 3rd quarter note of the first bar. So this is something we can apply as well. So if we just pick those notes here and just drag them here, and now we have to change the pitch and it should be a little bit lower than the first one. So we are still in G minor as we can see here. So why not starting on the D this time, which would be a little bit lower but still the 5th. And then he's going just stepwise up somehow. And I think we should end somewhere where it's a little bit more consonant. And now he's just turning it around, okay? So now we can, like the 3rd bar, it's an A sharp major chord. So we could start on a F here, go down on the D, and then just stop on, maybe really on the A sharp. So we are having a very consonant ending there. I think we need something a little more dissonant in the end. It's not satisfying. Yeah. We should like, I think we should stay like in one line here. Okay, so this is like really if you like copy it one-to-one and then just do your own thing with it. But I think we can use this kind of structure but vary it just a little bit more. So we could, for example, get rid of the second note every time. So the second note that comes after the like this melodic theme starts. And maybe we can get rid of one of those two F notes here as well. So we just have like 3 notes going on here and 4 notes going on in the beginning. Now they're like not that senseful rhythmical in a rhythmical way. So let's just try and move around a little bit. Yeah, that's better. And it's pretty cool if you have like this fill notes again. I really like those. They're just preparing the listener nicely. Okay, so this could be one style. So let's just create a new MIDI clip. So let's apply those rules, but let's be not too strict and let's not stick too much to them. Okay, so we had 2 notes here in the beginning and we can start on our B maybe. And then we got down to our D, and now maybe we will just continue by making just a small upwards motion here, and we have to watch out that we're just sticking to the tonality good. Okay, I think I would get rid of this like because it's too often the same note. I don't necessarily like this if it's repeating too much, as you may already experience in this whole course. We can leave a little bit space here. Just duplicate this whole theme over there. And let's just adjust this note so they fit into this A sharp major harmony here. A sharp. Okay. A sharp major. All right. So now we're ending on the same note here. I think this is nothing that we should do. Let's go down here in the first bar. Maybe we don't even need this last note here. More open like that. You know, I told you about like if you just cut this. You know what I told you about that we don't need this here. I think we could like use this trick of doing like this fill in here in the end. So let's try to create a small fill in melody here. Maybe we can copy this over to our first example as well. Let's adjust the notes here a little bit. So this is a F major, so we need to transpose this down to its third. Perfect. Oops. Let's open up the filter a little bit more. A little bit more. I think there's something too much going on here. Too busy. Okay, it has to end here. Otherwise it sounds a little bit that it's coming too late there. Yeah. A little bit more envelope around. Let's decrease the volume a little bit. Okay, so I mean we can do whatever we want now. We can say, okay, this shape is too much jumps for us, so let's get rid of them. We don't like the repetition here, so we could do more variation there. This sounds a little bit weird. Alright, so people, I think I gave you so many hints and little hacks that you can use for your melody productions. I think one of the most important, and want to stress this in the end, is that you get a clear vision of what style you want to produce, you know, because this can really suck the energy out of you in the beginning because you don't know what you want to do. So maybe you just take a creative exercise, you know, and you say, okay, I'm just trying to make a real chill and super like calming track or something like that. And then you try to play more with consonant intervals and not so much with dissonant ones. Or you try to make a very like busy track, super fast, like 140 BPM. I don't know. This is all fun, you know. There's nothing good or bad about any genre. They all have their good and their bad things. So yeah, people, without further talking, I hope that you enjoyed this this melodic art part that I took over here for PML. If you want to check out some other courses that I've made, feel free. There will be a course out for my template for the Organic Cat 2 sample pack that I've created here for Production Music Live, which is called Sutera. The track came out on Katemucke, and there are a lot of like melodies in there, but it's really a start to finish course. So feel free to check out the other content that I've created for the guys. So I would say have a great day and see you in the drum course as well.